morning and welcome to Inside News. It's our Wednesday show, Jour du Galop, and obviously as usual we're going to talk about Saturday's meeting, our two to follow, a little bit of jockey news and then some training and the one barrier trial from yesterday. Let me just excuse myself if I sound a little bit different. I've got a little bit of flu, but I'm still here to try and show you a couple of gallops and what I saw yesterday at the training. Let's talk about Saturday. Well, it was a much better day for us at Inside News. I think myself and Shale managed to find 6 out of the 8 winners. We couldn't find Berg, but Rapid Attack, I can't believe we let that one slip. I went back and looked at his form Saturday evening. He's got terrific form, and I don't know how we missed Rapid Attack. But anyway, it was a decent day for us. We managed to tip the trifecta of the Maiden Cup. Look, it didn't pay much. It paid 450 rupees, but it was still quite a good return for your investment if you did play that trifecta. Let's talk about Enoch. Wow, brilliant run, brilliant racehorse, and well done to the team. Like I said to you on Friday, I thought his preparation was ideal going into the Maiden Cup. He really looked well, and I like the way that they sort of brought him into that race, the way they prepared him, that Tuesday morning gallop as well. That sort of just cemented my sort of thinking that Enoch was going to be a tough horse to beat. He's made a little bit of history. And who knows, we might even see a horse go on to win 3 Maiden Cups if they can keep him sound. He is a top class stayer, Enoch, and it was a very good win. Great ride by Daniel Stackhouse as well. I thought he kept his cool, pushed the button at the right time, and it was a very good win by Enoch. I thought the great one as well, he ran a cracker. He went to the front and he sort of was a winner most of the way, except sort of a couple of strides before the post. It was a great run by the great one, and then one or two other sort of achievements on the day, or you have to say Robbie Frad's ride on the last and Redline Captain was top draw for a 53-year-old jockey. I thought it was a cracking ride from Robbie Frad. And then obviously Moonrise Sensation as well. That was a very good win by him. He looks like he's a nice up-and-coming stayer for the future as well. I thought his win was full of merit, and we'll keep an eye on Moonrise Sensation. I also want to congratulate the MTC. I thought they put up it was a brilliant race day, and you know, I was lucky enough to walk around the crowd. The crowds were massive, and everyone had a great day, and I have to say well done to the MTC. I think they put up quite a good show, and kudos to them. Right, let's talk about a little bit of jockeys. Only 2 jockeys I want to talk about. Sunil Basant, as you probably know by now, he got 2 weeks suspension for not riding to the satisfaction of the stewards on gold medalists. And he got a 2-week suspension for that. And then Richard Oliver, he's been thanked by the Ricky Maingard stable. We'll no longer be seeing Richard Oliver on our track this year. We don't know, who knows if he'll be back next year. But this year, his season is finished. He has been thanked by Ricky Maingard, so no more Richard Oliver. Right, and then let's talk about my 2 to follow. The first horse I want to talk about is Apollo Star from the Sadoyard. And I thought this horse ran a cracker. Remember, he arrived here, a 2-time winner. Both wins were over the 1400. And I don't know if you remember, I showed you his barrier trial, which was quite impressive. And he looks like he's a nice horse. And he was squeezed at the start, and he was carried 3 wide most of the way around up that first hill. And then he managed to settle in about 5 lengths off the leader. And one stage in the straight, I thought he was going to go in and win it. And I think maybe that sort of last uphill 50 meters just got the better of him. But he looks like he's a nice horse, this Apollo Star. I like the way he sort of quickened up in the straight. But like I said, he just got a little bit tired towards the end there. And I think he only went down a length to quite a decent horse. And I like this horse not only from what he showed me in the race, but also what he showed me in the barrier trial and his sand work. I think Apollo Star's got quite a nice future here in Mauritius. He's going to be one of my horses that I'm going to follow. Then my second horse, Karraar Secret. I don't know if you remember, he has been a 2 to follow mine before, and I thought he was going to run a crack on Sunday, which he did. And I think once again, just a little bit of greenness beat him. He sort of followed quite far back, and he was always sort of like off the bit. Came into the straight, he had a lot of ground to make up, and once he switched in, he really quickened up beautifully, this horse. And I think he only went down, by a length to Redline Captain. It was a cracking run. He's still very immature, this horse, and I think he's going to go on to mature and just get a little bit better. And I wouldn't be surprised if he wins his next start, Karraar Secret. Right, that's my 2 to follow. We're now going to work on, there was one barrier trial yesterday, and I thought we'd talk about it. First of all, the 4 horses we're going to talk about is Tower of Wisdom from the Sadoyard. He had the red jacket. He had blinkers first time out. Noah's Ark and Captain Moss, both from the Pedro stable. Noah's Ark had the green jacket, Captain Moss had the yellow jacket, both jumping with blankets. And then Sharkaholic from the Jean-Michel Henry stable, he had the blue jacket. He's a new horse. Let's talk about Tower of Wisdom. Well, I did mention I thought that we'd see him in barrier trial again. His first barrier trial, he was pretty green. and this was a much better gallop with the blinkers on, and this horse has got some nice South African form, and only had the 5 starts in South Africa. And I mentioned to you, I think there's a room for a lot of improvement from Tower of Wisdom. And judging from this gallop, he has made a lot of improvement already, especially with those blinkers. Noah's Ark, well, after a good win, he followed it up with a terrific third behind Yankee Captain. Can't understand why we haven't seen him for 3 months. Maybe he had a little bit of an issue, but he jumped with the blanket. He jumped quite nicely, as well as Captain Moss, his stable companion. He also, I see, got a little bit slow away last time, and so they fitted him with the blanket. Let's hope that he's over that sort of problems, because he has got a bit of ability. And the Sharkaholic, only the 2 starts in South Africa, winning his 2nd start, and this was beat a horse called State Trooper. State Trooper came out and won his next 2 starts, so the form line's pretty good for Sharkaholic. He's a very young and immature horse. He's only had the 2 runs. He might take 1 or 2 races to find his feet, but off that rating of 29, I think he's a little bit better than that, and we'll keep an eye on Sharkaholic. It looks like he's going to be a nice horse here as well. Right, well, that was the one and only barrier trial, and obviously because we've only got the 1 barrier trial, I managed to take out 10 horses, or pinpoint 10 horses that I saw in the morning that I thought was going to be worthwhile talking about. Remember, it is the Princess Margaret Cup, and coming up this week, it's a weight for age. I think it's over 1400. I'm not 100% sure. I think it is. And there's a couple of nice horses going to be taking part in that race. Looks like it's going to be a very exciting race. The first horse I wanted to show, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I think is a couple of the principal contenders for the Saturday race, and I just want you to have a look at some of their workouts. The first horse I want to talk about is Nottinghamshire. He worked with Chili Con Carne, and Nottinghamshire, well, he just continues to hold that form of his, which is quite magnificent. If you think he's had a very good season, this horse, but he just seems to hold his condition very well. And he went down half a length to Yankee Captain last time, and I think at weight for age he's going to be 2 kilograms better off with Yankee Captain, so it's going to be a little bit easier for Nottinghamshire. Excuse me. And remember, his 3 wins, well, he's won 3 times over 1400, so he's ideally distance suited. He loves Mauritius 1400, and I wouldn't be surprised if Nottinghamshire can pick up one of the big ones. He got up with Chili Con Carne. Well, probably last time he had a little bit of an issue, and after those 2 wins, something went wrong, and let's hope he looks, well, he's pulled out of that problem. He looks a lot better, Chili Con Carne. Right, we move over to Yankee Captain, and Robbie Frad worked him, and arguably his toughest task to date. He's going to be running in this weight for age, but he's done nothing wrong with this horse. And another horse that loves the 1400. I think 6 out of his 9 wins have been over the 1400, so he loves the 1400. I know that the stable do rate this horse, and why not? He's been a revelation since he's arrived here in Mauritius, and I think he's going to be a big runner come Saturday, the Prince Margaret Cup. I like the way that he worked Yankee Captain, and I like the way he came off the track as well. He sort of looked like he couldn't blow out a candle. He's super fit, Yankee Captain. I would imagine Robbie Frade is going to choose to ride Yankee Captain on Saturday. Right, his stable companion, Karraar, Robbie rode him as well, worked him as well, and another horse that just holds his condition so well, this horse. He's as tough as nails, and remember, the only thing is his last two wins this season, both times Jamir Aliassine has ridden him, and both times he's received that sort of claiming allowance. I don't think he's going to be able to claim, if he rides him, he's not going to be able to get claiming this time. So that's going to put him sort of a little bit worse off at the weights than what he has been running. Remember, I think he beat Baritone last time. He's probably going to be 2 kilograms worse off this time, Karraar. But he's a tough horse. He's a good horse. You can't write off his chances. If he's in a running mood or a galloping mood, he'll make the others run, Karraar. He's a lovely horse, and like I said, he's as tough as nails, Karraar. And he deserves to pick up a nice sort of feature race win or something. Remember, he came here sort of in the mid ratings, and he's really worked his way up to the top, Karraar, and he's been a revelation for the Gilbert Rosset stable. Right, talking about Baritone, he worked alongside Bear Hug, and I reckon this horse was a touch unlucky last time. He was drawn 9. Cedric Sejon had no option but to sort of come from a little bit further back than what he probably would have liked. He got a position, so he wasn't racing 3 wide, but a little bit far back, and I'm not blaming Cedric. It was just obviously the draw that he had to do that, and I thought in my opinion, his 2 wins here have been so good. They've been full of merit. The Duchess, and then when he won again later on in the, well, I think it was his 2nd or 3rd start that he won again. Both his wins have been very, very impressive, and like I said, I thought he was a little bit unlucky last time when he ran 2nd to Karraar. I think this time he's going to be, well, he is going to be better off at the weights. He's going to be a lot sharper. He looks very good, this was Baritone, and I'm going to make him a little bit of a roughie or an outsider for the Princess Margaret Cup, because I think he's got plenty of ability, and I think he loves the track here in Mauritius, Baritone. So let's keep an eye when the book comes out on Thursday to see. Hopefully he gets a better draw. Excuse me once again. Right, then we move over to Table Bay, or probably the pundits' favourite for the Princess Margaret Cup after that excellent win last time over 1850, the weight for age. It was a great run, and remember, he just finished, well, he beat the Great One, and as we all know, we saw what he did in the Maiden Cup. Obviously, it was over a lot further ground. That's probably my only sort of question mark as far as Table Bay is concerned. I think he's probably the best horse in the race. I'm just a little bit worried for coming from that 1850 down to a 1400 is a little bit of a question mark. And but I went back and looked at his South African form. Most of his wins or his best races were around about the middle distance, you know, from a 14, 15, 1600 meter point of view. And you can't write off Table Bay. He's obviously a very, very decent horse. And remember that gallop last week as well. So he worked with the evergreen Tendraji, still going Tendraji, still loving his workouts. And I thought that the two of them put up a very, very good workout in the morning. Right, well, those are the runners for the, well, not all the runners, but the runners that I think are going to be the principal contenders. I think it's going to be a very, very exciting race. Remember, the championship, the stable championship, is starting to hot up now after that maiden win. The Gajera stables are a couple 100,000 in front. But it's going to be quite an exciting finish to the season, and let's see who's going to pick up that championship. But I think the Princess Margaret Cup is going to help whoever wins it quite a lot to achieve that goal. Right, then to some other horses that will be running, well, I would imagine are going to be running on the race day. The first one is the Right Road, and after winning, he took quite a tough. He took on quite a tough field last time, and I thought he was a little bit. I thought he had excuses. He was a little bit further back than I would imagine Robbie wanted to be, but he really finished on well. And I thought that race was a very, very good run on his work. He suggested on Saturday, I think he is nominated, and I think he's going to run a crack at this horse. I know last time Robbie Fade was quite bullish about his chances to beat that horse Ideal Secret, or Ideal Secret of Bricky Maingard's. But like I said, I don't think he had the best sort of running luck in the race, and I'm expecting the Right Road to run a decent race this week. Right, then we're going to go over to Wall Tag. And Wall Tag, well, I thought that he was a beaten favourite last time, but probably that second run of the Syndrome, second run after layoff Syndrome, probably could have got to him a little bit. He won a very good 990 with Richard Mullen. I know Richard Mullen sort of rates this horse quite highly, and I see on Saturday he's nominated in the 990 again. That's probably going to suit him a lot better. I went back and had a look. His only win in South Africa was over 1,000 metres. And he's probably a little bit suited better to that 990 metres. He looks very, very well. And you know what they say in racing, always beware of a beaten favourite. He was favoured last time, he was beaten. But I think probably that second run could have got the better of him. And I think back to the 990, because he is nominated on Saturday in the 990, I'm expecting a much better performance from Wall Tag. I've always liked this horse. Right, then we're going to have a look at Sir Capers, and well, we saw his barrier trial last week, and with the blinkers, and once again he worked with blinkers this morning, and he's only had the 4 starts in South Africa, and I think his best run was over 1,000 metres when he ran second in his last start. But I can't help but just watching this horse's action and his sort of attitude. To me, he looks like he's going to go a little bit further than the 1,000 metres. I personally don't think he's a 1,000 metre horse, and I see he's only rated 26, and he is nominated on Saturday in a 0.26, so he'll probably be making his debut, Sir Capers, and he's definitely a horse to keep an eye on. He could probably manage to win on debut. Like I said, only those 4 runs with some good maiden form back home. Right, and then Bonnie Prince, and it's nice to see that the stable, Sedol stable, is starting to find a little bit of form. I think there are 2 winners on Saturday and Sunday, sorry. And well, after a very good debut to Saint-Tropez, this horse, he sort of disappointed us slightly the next time. But once again, could be that second run after run syndrome. He's had the 2 runs under the belt, and I just feel that he's probably looking for a little bit further. This horse, Bonnie Prince, he's in good form. He's got some good South African form, and I reckon that this week he's going to show us his true ability. I see he's in the nominations as well, Bonnie Prince. I thought he put up a very, very nice workout there, Bonnie Prince. Right, and then I want to talk, the last horse I want to talk about is Very Varia. It's well, he's had 5 satisfactory runs. So he's He came here as a 26. I see he's finally dropped 1 point to the 25, and I've noticed that he is nominated in the 0.25 on Saturday. And if you look back at that horse, New Golden Age, I just thought once he had dropped into that category, he was going to be too strong for them. He'd been racing against a lot stronger, and I think it's very similar to the case of Verivari. He's been running running against a little bit stronger than what he will be taking on Saturday. He's now rated at 25. He has changed stables as well, and as you know, a change is as good as a holiday. Could just change the attitude of Verivari, and I've been keeping an eye on this horse. I like the way he's working, and I think that he's going to be a big runner in that 0.25 on Saturday. Right, well, that's all we have for you. Thank you very much for joining us. Remember, on Friday we're going to have our On the Mark show again. Shahil will be with me. Hopefully the two of us can have a good meeting as far as giving you information, and a couple of our selections arrive once again. So catch us up on Friday morning on the Mark. Thank you very much for joining us. Goodbye.